Hello YouTubers, welcome back to another Tesla electric car video of me, Adam Well Informed. Well, I hate to say it, I think my Tesla Model 3 is cursed. In just over 18 months ownership, our car has been rear-ended once, driven into whilst parked, outside my own house, and the most recent event, door dinged. Now, I actively encourage any of you to convince me that my Tesla is not cursed, but personally, from the experience I've had, the figures just don't lie. Whilst I may have now adopted complete anxiety about where I park my car these days, it does bring me to today's video. I'm happy, well within reason, to share my experience on these events for your benefit. It'll be the first time I'll be sharing some of the dashcam footage and showing some of the damage in full, because I want to cover how the damage was fixed and what to look out for when having your Tesla repaired. The reason I wanted to share that right now is because I wanted to shatter a myth that you need Tesla to complete all the work on your Tesla Model 3 100% of the time. That's not always the case, and don't get me wrong, there are occasions where Tesla are best fit for warranty purposes, but on some occasions, is it possible and is it worth it? I really hope some of you aren't as unfortunate as me, and equally I know that I am quite fortunate in quite a strange way because my vehicle wasn't in a state to be written off. Still, this may offer you an insight into repairability from third-party body shops to Tesla-approved body shops, whether you're a prospective buyer or an existing Tesla owner. Therefore, I'm hoping this has whet your mouth for things to come, which equally does sound unintentionally suspicious, but my intentions are squeaky clean and purely informative. So if this video sounds like an interesting insight, buckle up, hit that like button, don't hit my car. Seriously though, hit the like button to show me some of your virtual love and support for Tesla and EV content. Hit the subscribe button to follow my Tesla EV journey with me. And finally, hit the notification bell so you're notified of all my upcoming electric car videos as soon as they're available. Anyhow, it's now time to show you some truly upsetting Tesla content. If you're squeamish to vehicle damage, you may want to look away now. So I want to start with potentially the smallest but the most recent impact, this door ding. I literally did a whole video on this a few weeks ago, and if you want the complete lowdown, the video is on the screen now. But effectively, a long story short, and minus the rant, I have reasonable suspicion someone illegitimately took a chunk out of my car door. The event wasn't picked up by a SemtraCam, and yeah, I decided to foot the bill for this. This wasn't even a small scratch, it literally stripped it down to the metal, and the impact area was right on the aerodynamic line, or crease, on the passenger door. Naturally, this isn't a good look, and I wanted it fixed, so I did get a number of quotes, and boy was the range of quotations to repair this fingernail sized chip pretty significant. I'm talking about £1,600, which converts about $2,000 to £350 or $440. Now, can any of you guess which one was from a Tesla approved body shop? To give you a clue, I did receive a third quote for £550. In 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. So if you guessed £350, sorry folks, I wish it was true, but the 1,600 figure was a Tesla approved body shop. The lower two figures were from firms that were more local to me, and they were confident that they could do the work, but one intended to fully respray the whole panel, and the other one was a lot more localized to the repair area. So which one did you think I chose, and how did I go about it? So after deliberating for a couple of weeks, I just couldn't believe the sheer range of quotations. I had expected the fee to be in the same range as that £350 figure, but equally going for the cheapest option doesn't automatically mean that you have the greatest and the best solution, and to be honest, I was skeptical at first. This local firm had and does have truly amazing reviews, and therefore a great virtual footprint for good work. With only a handful of negative reviews, this covered a number of years, so they were well established, and on paper at least, it didn't exactly scream red flag. So why was I skeptical? Well, I had Tesla white paint. This is no ordinary white paint. It's pearl multicoat white. If that sounds like gibberish to you, I'll explain it in more detail in just a second. But effectively, it's not the easiest paint job to perform, and as you folks know, I love this car. I wouldn't say my car looks $1 million 100% of the time. I look after it for sure, 2 bucket washes and that, but it sustains a sole family based lifestyle, should I say. And it's not always squeaky clean, especially with it being white, but we still want it to look respectable. Cutting straight to the chase, I ended up calling this local firm to see if he had worked on Teslas before, and he showed me some work that he'd done on a red Tesla, which I believe is another multi-coat colour from Tesla. And whilst it wasn't the right colour, I felt much more comfortable at that very point, so I decided to take the plunge. In the worst case scenario, I thought it would just need another respray, which would be costly but fixable in the worst case scenario. So onto the repair job itself. As the damage was on this area line, should we say, it needed to be built back a little to match that same angle, and then the multi-coat paint could be applied. The difficulty of this multi-coat is matching the existing colour to the new paint application, and the way the guy explained it to me was that they would layer the white paint and then layer the pearl on top, anticipating between 3 to 5 layers of the pearl coat before finally adding the clear coat layer on top. You can see with this photo how the matching sort of works. So that circular cutout is actually from my car, and the paper chart represents 3 or 5 coats, and you can see that it was much closer to the 3 coats than it is the 5 coats. But wait, the job is not done just yet. After the coats are painted, it has to pass both a light and shading test. And I think theoretically the magic is in the blend of the white to the pearl and to what's already on the panel. Therefore, because of its complexity, the other firms, including the Tesla approved Bodyshop, they wanted to respray not just that area, but also the surrounding area and the panel to help blend the job much easier. Equally, that takes longer, and ultimately that's going to cost more, but it's probably the safest way of executing this type of job. Therefore, knowing that, the firm or the guys that I used were either just blind crazy or truly believed they had the facilities and the skills to pull it off. Looking at the finished job, they were probably both, because hats off, they pulled it out the bag. After looking at the mark for a number of weeks, I'm so relieved to see it disappear as if it never happened. I mean, look at it, can you tell? I've been uploading footage for weeks since it's been fixed, and no one has pointed out any difference. Even to the human eye, to the average person, you'd never know the work was done. That said, if you're in the trade, you've probably got the eye for detail. But for me as a customer, I looked at it in the sunlight and I looked at it in the shade before I decided to pay for the work. And I'd probably advise you to do the same. Just like when you take a video or you take a photo of yourself, lighting can reveal some imperfections. Therefore, do try to get a balanced conclusion by moving the car into different lights. And if you're not happy with something, do raise it with them. And whilst I was ecstatic, there was one small thing that came to light after the work had completed that I wanted fixing. After the work was completed, I washed the car down, mainly from the dust, and immediately after a clean, I saw what seemed to be paint on top of the clear coat of the paint. Now, this is what they call overspray, and there was a tiny bit located near the arch of the wheel. Obviously, it wasn't intentional, and it shouldn't be there. So naturally, I texted the guy, and he just reassured me straight up that it could be removed within 5 minutes. Now, it's taken me a good number of weeks to be in a position to take it back, but he did stick to his word. He fixed it within 5 minutes as I turned up. We came to the conclusion that the paint probably snuck in between the plastic layers that they used to protect the car from overspray, ironically, in the first place. And at this point, I expect some people may be outraged by that mistake. Like, I do get that, and agree it shouldn't be there in the first place, but I just don't see the need to make a big deal out of it. The guy did remove it in 5 minutes like he promised, and seriously, am I going to remember him saving me £1,250, or am I going to remember that small overspray mark that's now been removed within 5 minutes? I think it's fair to say that they earned the credit on this one, and for £350, whilst I would have loved for the culprit to pay for this, I was happy to hand over £350 to this local repairer for the services and the job that they completed. And if you're in the Leicester area and you want to know the name of the firm, do let me know in the comments section or via a DM or something. I'm not affiliated with this firm in any way, but if you have a similar ding, don't just assume you have to rely on the local Tesla Bodyshop, and utilising a proven third party can be a suitable alternative to the Tesla approved Bodyshop. So what did my worst damage look like? Well, it started by getting rear-ended like so. It was ultimately a low-speed knock, and at the time it felt like the emergency brakes initiated, but I was already stopped at that point. Ultimately, his front bumper hit my back bumper, and this formed a crack along the bumper. But wait, the worst is yet to come. My car was parked outside my house 3 weeks later, and if you didn't already know, it's literally like a dead end and no one actually drives down it apart from me and the neighbours. It was only parked on the road temporarily as my wife returned from work and I was to go food shopping straight after. And in between that transition, a pizza delivery guy drove right into the side of the car and scuffed the passenger side of the poor Tesla. Thankfully, my wife watched the whole thing out of the window. I did manage to exchange details with the driver and then had to put through another claim within 3 weeks of the first claim, which is pretty crazy. Breathe, Adam. The audience do not want to hear about insurance claims and no claims issues. Not again. Anyway, the car was shipped off all the way to Blackpool and it was sent to a authorised Tesla repairer. They fixed the crack in the bumper and the scuff on the passenger side of the car at the same time. And this is why I had that Polestar 2 for around a month just after Christmas. And whilst I did enjoy my time driving the Polestar 2, it was an eye-opening experience indeed, just to try alternative EVs in the market. But after a month or so of not driving my own car, you do sort of miss your own car. And more so my wife actually. Just the thought of gold seatbelts of a performance-packed specs Polestar 2 still haunt her today. But if you're interested in my time with the Polestar 2, I'll put a video up on the screen now. And this leads me to my final important statement. So to conclude, full self-driving cars can't come sooner enough, and hopefully that does mean less human errors, which ultimately caused all three of these incidents. Thank you, humans. When fully automated vehicles do appear, we probably need a crystal ball to determine when that is though, but for now I still have trust issues with other drivers and constantly watching my rear view mirrors and parking in wider spots where possible. Unfortunately, whilst I am trying to counter potential issues arising, there's only so much that I can do, and when it comes to repair work, authorised Tesla Bodyshops are probably a must for repair work where there is significant damage and for insurance claims of course. Outside that, I am open to using this repairer again should someone decide to take a small chunk out of my car via a door ding should I say, or if I or my wife leave a small scrape in the paintwork for some reason. Obviously hopefully that doesn't happen, but based on my single experience with the door ding, they do seem more than capable of doing a little paintwork repair. I know you can also get smart repairs and they do a similar thing, but apparently this wasn't actually a smart repair. So overall, what did you guys think? In this door ding circumstance, did you guys think I did the right thing? And what do you actually think to the paint job? Let me know in the comment section below. And if you're not sure what to comment and you want to show me that you've got this far in the video, you can simply comment "no more dings" and I'll give you a cheeky thumbs up for the support. If you're not done so already, please hit the like button, subscribe and share the video with your friends, family or any other group that may find it beneficial. As always, you folks have been great and I'll see you in the next one. Ciao.